Alright guys, today we saw the new hit movie Run All Night, starring Liam Neeson and Peter Weller of the History Channel as the arch nemesis to Liam Neeson. Aiden, would you describe the plot of Run All Night?
So when the movie starts out, we find out that Liam Neeson is an ex-hitman, and his son is a limo driver. His son witnesses Peter Weller of the History Channel's son murder a bunch of drug lords, and in an attempt to shut up Liam Neeson's son, the murderer goes out to his house and attempts to kill him. Liam Neeson comes in and saves his son, which sets off Peter Weller's rage, and Peter Weller sent hitmen to kill Liam Neeson's son Michael, while Liam Neeson tries to protect him. What did you think of the movie, Connor?
I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't all that bad. I mean, for an action movie, I always like Liam Neeson in these movies, but he always does these roles that are just, or these movies that just, you know, the generic action movies. Liam Neeson played the same character he plays in Taken, he plays in all of them. I think the best line that describes this is, "How many have you killed in the past?" And he's like, "Hundreds," you know? That's Liam Neeson's character. He killed a bunch of people, but he's still, like, wise and all that bullshit. This time he's a little more drunky than normal, but I guess generally my thoughts on the movie was it's okay. Personally, I like Taken 1 and 3 better than this movie. Taken 2 was just kind of short and crappy, but it was okay. I like Liam Neeson. I like Peter Weller for being RoboCop and for being on the History Channel. So you gotta like the actors in this movie. It's not a huge standout piece, and it's kind of a alright, fun-ish adventure movie. But I mean, it's not great. What are your thoughts on the film Run All Night, Aiden?
It was barely tolerable to me. I like Peter Weller and I like Liam Neeson sometimes, but the movie was pretty clearly just trying to capitalize on the whole Taken thing, basically being the same movie.
It wasn't all that similar because no one gets taken, and the characters are pretty different. But like, especially, I would say the trailers
plot's a little bit different, but the characters and
Liam Neeson's drunk.
Similar,
the action's similar. And Liam Neeson's in it, but that's about where I draw the line on similarities there. The trailer, however, if you watch the trailer, which I'm sure we'll insert, that made me believe, because they even, like, emphasized, he said something about, like, one line about being taken or taking something, and you notice it in the movie, but it's not like you're about to be taken, you know, just blatantly being taken, but in the commercial, they, like, highlight that line, like, it's super important. You're like, oh, Liam Neeson's doing Taken 4, different name edition.
Peter Weller looks old as fuck.
Good point.
And that was it was interesting, but also kind of distracting. But I liked Peter Weller, and he was one of my favorite parts. Other than that, there was some weird stuff going on, like Liam Neeson's son Michael had his own family that doesn't really do anything important except get chased by Black RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop makes a cameo as some weird black guy that I think the movie makers as well as you forget about until his segments.
He appears for like 30 seconds chasing Liam Neeson, and then he inexplicably disappears with no mention for 40 minutes, maybe?
See,
and then out of nowhere, he just pops out and he just starts shooting everybody.
Because he's supposed to be this badass, and we really see him at 3 major points. And I don't know what the first point was because I was taking a piss at the time. So
you literally just see him walking.
Yeah.
He's on the phone and he's like getting called by Peter Weller.
See, I was pissing at the time. So when I saw some Ultra Rambo come in and start gunning down hundreds of cops in the hotel scene, I was like, what? I was pretty confused at the time.
I was pretty confused too, and I saw the scene.
And then I forgot about him totally because they kind of sidewind him for like the whole like him, for the things Liam Neeson was doing and his conflict against Peter Weller. And then all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes, he shows up again, and I'm like, Oh yeah, that.
Well, there wasn't
guy.
really any indication that he'd return. In the hotel fight scene, he chases Liam Neeson, then Liam Neeson jumps off a balcony, and you see him point his gun straight down and shoot it. And then you're like, okay, he missed Liam Neeson, he hit Liam Neeson in the shoulder, and then he's gone, and they don't explain anything, they don't show him again, and then suddenly he shows up at Liam Neeson's cabin and starts shooting at people. You're like, what?
Well, I mean, I guess he probably wanted revenge for, spoiler alert, Liam Neeson horribly burning his face. And he's also an ultra hitman, so he probably wasn't just gonna, like, take the terrible disfigurement and then
He also has
just let Liam Neeson get away with that shit.
He also has cybernetic attachments. He has like Google Glass on, and
that's his night Google Vision glasses. That's what those are.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, that's why we called him RoboCop.
What else happened in the movie?
Just ridiculous.
Liam Neeson's
Not much.
Liam Neeson's kid's wife was a Latin American.
Does that really?
I'm just pointing out things I noticed because I can't really remember anything about this movie, even though we saw it 2 hours ago.
That's a thing about this movie. It wasn't hugely memorable because there was a lot of scenes where it was like you were a bad dad, and then like
his son's a little bitch, and
his son is like you are a bad dad, and that was a lot in the movie too. And then
he's like, you abandoned me.
We hear that Liam Neeson killed a lot of guys, and it seems like the son and the wife, who the mom was dead. But it sounds like he's like, you were killing hundreds of people, I was just a kid. And it sounds like the kid was like fully aware, like Liam Neeson's like, I killed a bunch of people, honey, like as he walked in or something. I don't know, it just seemed odd to me. And then the other thing I thought was odd is, like, there would be times that things would just be brought up and then completely sidelined. The most bizarre is, he's like, no, don't shoot this person. That Liam Neeson says that to his son. So then he's like, don't kill him. So obviously it's like, okay, he doesn't want him corrupted. Fair enough. That's a fair enough reason he doesn't want people to shoot him. And then later he explains, it's because I don't want you to get killed like your cousin Eddie. That's like the exact line is, because I don't want you to get killed like your cousin Eddie. And then they completely ignore the cousin Eddie. Like the whole fucking movie.
They do bring up Cousin Billy later.
No, Cousin Billy, that's what I meant. Cousin Eddie's the uncle.
Oh, right.
But Cousin Billy, they're like, I don't want you to end up in this life like Cousin Billy. And then you're like, who the fuck's Cousin Billy? And then in the last 5 minutes, they bring up that Liam Neeson killed Cousin Billy. And I forgot about Cousin Billy, and it's like, you killed Cousin Billy, you shit. And then, like they just kind of forgave him for murdering Cousin Billy in cold blood.
I think the weirdest part of the movie was at the very end, kind of spoilers, there's a big shootout. And there's one point where Liam Neeson takes a hunting rifle, and even though the black RoboCop is running straight for his son's family, he takes the time to do this fancy flip and grab it by the I don't know what
slow motion
the hammer is called, but he pulls the hammer back and then he flips it backwards and cocks the rifle.
Well, that was in slow motion for badassery's sake, and I guess it would be the fastest way to do that.
I don't think
it would be, because otherwise you'd have to put in the bullet, or you'd have to cock it and then turn it around and shoot it. But, I mean, here's the thing. What happens if you fail that complex maneuver? Then you hear gunshots and you hear all your little grandkids getting just massacred. So it was a risky maneuver, and it was fast, but it was, unless he was an action star, realistically, he wouldn't have been able to pull off that badass hunting rifle move, I don't think. But
what else?
That's just me. I don't really.
The cops were all corrupt for some reason.
No, the cops weren't all corrupt. It was just the first bunch that he murders were corrupt, and then we really only followed the one that was in the judge. Fat Mark Ruffalo. Fat Mark Ruffalo. But
was there anything else that happened?
Not really. So, final thoughts on this movie. What did you think, or would you suggest this movie, and what was the worst and best part of this film?
I don't think I'd suggest this. Taken 1 and 3 are both better movies. mildly better than Taken 2, but the Taken franchise itself isn't all that great. The best part of the movie
for action movies,
was Peter Weller isn't dead yet. And the worst part of the movie was, yeah, there wasn't anything that stuck out to me as offensively terrible. I guess I would have to say the son's acting was kind of...
See, I didn't
weird
notice
at
the
some
son's acting was terribly bad. I mean, there was a lot of points where he just did stupid shit, but that's whatever. I guess I would suggest this movie if you want to see like an action movie. But my favorite part of this film had to be, I enjoyed seeing Liam Neeson kill shit. Like, that's the draw to this series, or to this movie, the Taken series, Star Wars Episode 1. Liam Neeson's a pretty cool guy, even though he 99% of the time takes really shitty roles. I like Liam Neeson as an actor. And yeah, so I liked Liam Neeson. I liked his dynamic with Peter Weller. Because even near the end, him and Peter Weller, it didn't seem like they really hated each other. And I'm not going to really spoil anything because we kind of stayed unspoilery-ish. Like, it's kind of obvious Liam Neeson's going to kill people. But through the whole time, him and Peter Weller are friends, and they kind of retain that friendship even through the movie, where obviously they become sort of rivals. Like they're not fully friends, but I mean, obviously
they share a mutual respect for each other.
It's kind of like we were friends, and I'm kind of just doing an eye for an eye.
It was like
and
Hitler
that's why
and Mussolini, where they got along. But
not really.
They were both evil.
Not really in that way.
No, I mean,
no.
I would call Liam Neeson pretty evil.
Liam Neeson was evil. That's not what I was getting at, though. I was getting at like Liam Neeson was a hitman. He killed a bunch of people. He wasn't a good guy, but I'm saying they were going against each other because Peter Weller was attempting to kill Liam Neeson's son after Liam Neeson killed his son. So obviously there was their rivalry, but it seemed like he kind of just had he wanted an eye for an eye. He didn't really hate Liam Neeson that much. He just wanted Liam Neeson to feel the same pain he felt. So I liked that whole thing. And my least favorite part was there were just a lot of dry moments where it's like, you were always a bad dad. And then he killed his cousin, and Liam Neeson just seems more like an asshole the whole time. And then at the end he just kind of forgives him for seemingly no reason.
You have to wrap the movie up.
Yeah. But, yeah, I would say, some of the relationship things with the son, some of, the pacing on their relationship, it was kind of just 1 minute he hates him, 1 minute he doesn't. And I thought that was kind of the worst part of the movie for me. Overall, I didn't really hate this movie. I thought it was alright. And I kind of feel bad, too, because this Chappie and Unfinished Business are all kind of weird movies to start this series off on, but we just happened to watch these in a row. But I don't know. My problem with the last three movies is I moderately enjoyed each movie for what it was, and that's what I've been saying for all of them. I haven't had anything I've super enjoyed. Yeah, I liked Chappie. I'm just saying I haven't super enjoyed it. Chappie was definitely my favorite movie of what we've seen so far on the show, but I mean, I didn't hate anything. So I guess that's our thoughts on not Unfinished Business.
I'm just waiting.
What is it? The
Taken 4?
Taken 4, the Run All Night edition.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I always forget the name because we just called it Taken 4 the whole time. And so yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk about some new movies later.
Temporary setback.
You call this a glitch?